Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our next edition of Entrepreneurs. Individuals from the university who have decided to take their destiny in their hands and start their own businesses. I have with me one of this special gentlemen, and I'll allow him to introduce himself.
I'm Mitchell Smith. I am doing masters in international business. I had my degree in University of Hull. I did marketing and logistics from my degree, and basically that's it.
Okay, excellent. Well, why did you decide to go into business?
While I was 14 years old, I was in South Africa at that point in time. Then my mom was here in the UK, so then she just sent me like a box of clothes, like just for my personal use. Then I went to my high school, and I just sold it out, and I made a lot of profit. So that was what really engineered me into doing business anyway. Okay. So I was like, oh, okay, so you could make money off things, and that was it. So then when I come on holidays to the UK just to buy stuff and go back and sell, that was where I started business anyway.
Okay, so it's something you've always enjoyed doing?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is it that your business is? Can you tell us what your business is?
I'm diversified anyway, like I'm into like cars, I sell cars, but I started off with like clothing business, so because I started with clothing, so I couldn't like do away with the clothing, so I still do a little bit of clothing with what I do at the moment, so but basically I'm into cars at the moment.
So when you say you're into cars, what does that mean? Do you sell them to do you sell them to people in the UK? Do you sell them abroad?
No, I buy from America, and I buy from the UK at times. It depends on where I'm taking it to. So because you know the South Africa, like they use the same hand drive with the UK.
Yeah.
So I buy from the UK to satisfy the South African customers, and I also buy from America to satisfy the Nigerian customers.
Okay.
So that's
okay. So it's UK, South Africa, and America, Nigeria. All right. So do you have a shop there, or?
I have a shop in South Africa and I have a shop in Nigeria, but it's not like a massive shop because I'm still growing anyway. So.
Okay. And why did you decide to do cars? Why cars? I mean, if you wanted to make money, you could sell cameras.
Yeah, but I think as a businessman, you don't have to do like what everybody's into. You see where your strength is anyway. But with the car business, I think I started off sometime. I went to an auction. I wanted to buy a car for my personal use. That was in South Africa anyway. So I went to the auction to get the car, and I actually got a Golf, but that was 2004. I got a Golf, and when I got the Golf, I bought the Golf for my personal use. So at the end of the day, I had to, while I was going out, like, because it's an auction, so you have to fix, like, it might be accident and stuff. So I fixed the car, and at the end of the day, I got triple the price. I bought the car, someone was offering me triple the price. So I was like, why not sell it? So I sold it and kept going back to the auctions to buy the cars, and that was the breakthrough where I started car business.
So is it safe to say you started doing this before you came to university?
Yeah.
Started doing this. Right. Okay. So in terms of, because obviously we have hobbies, we have passions, then we have businesses. Yeah. So in terms of changing it from something you did during your spare time to an actual business idea, how do you do that?
Can you rephrase?
All right. So how did you make it a business as opposed to something you just did? You know, okay, if I don't have time this month, I won't do it. To an actual business.
I think what you're trying to talk about is like when you're being creative, it's different from doing business.
Yeah.
If you're creative in like a certain aspect of doing things, it's different from business. Anybody could do business as far as I'm concerned, but business is a risk, so you should be ready to like take the risk. So I think I have my own like creative things I could do, but with business I feel anybody could go into it, so that's why I went into it. It's a risk, so it's not like people are made to do business. It depends on how you view it.
But I'm just saying, how did you get serious about it?
About business?
Yeah. So how did you think? Right. Okay, I'm not going to waste my time looking for a job. This is my job from now on. How did you do that? When did you do that?
I think what really engineered me was like the money I made off it. So I'm like, oh, why would I go to uni, or why would I find a job when I could satisfy myself with the money I'm making through the car business? So that was how I started. But at the end of the day, I really sat down to think about it. Like, business doesn't go for a long while. Like, you could make it in business today and tomorrow you could. So why not give yourself a good background of education? So if business goes wrong, you'll be able to fall back on your business. So that was what really.
Okay. And then, how did you start in terms of getting your shops, getting your customers? I'd imagine you have to do things like export, import, all these duties, all the paperwork. How did you start?
I started off with like I had no shop at first, so I started off with like customers' demands. Like customers will ring and say, "Oh, please, can you get me so car?" And I'm like, oh, okay, they give me the registration, give me what they have to do. Then I go to different auctions and see the one that is like the cheapest, that will be able to like benefit, like make profit of it. So from there, I started off getting the car. When I got the car and the customer was satisfied, the customer had to tell other customers that, oh, I got a car off this guy in London, and there everyone started contacting me. So instead of we export, like normally if you're getting a car off here, you have to do a bit of exporting. So all I do is I don't take the money off them. I just like buy the cars, and when I send it and deliver it to you, then you pay me. Then at the end of the day, it was better to get a shop where people could like go and make their demands, and I get someone who takes all the list and like gets back to me. So that's just it.
Alright. So you buy the cars from auctions in the UK too?
In the UK and America.
Okay.
Sometimes I go down to America to buy.
Right. In terms of capital, this is quite expensive. How did you come about that?
And with the capital bit, I think it was something about like, because I started off with clothing business. Like, so with the clothing business, I was able to save like a bit. So I started off initially with a car. So the profit I made with one car developed into like a lot, which is now like.
So there's no external funding?
There was no like initial funding for that. No initial funding. It was just clothing business. What I made of the clothing business, I bought one car, and from one car I was able to like save from the profit of the one car, and that was where it exploded.